Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councillor Olson is excused. Councillor Fennessy. Here. Councillor Bender. Here. Councillor Sweeney is excused, and Councillor McDonald is excused. Councillor Garfield. Here. Councillor Finsland. Here. Councillor Herrick. Here. Councillor D. Dahlbeck. Here. And Councillor E. Dahlbeck.
Here.
Recognizing quorum will proceed. I'd like to do a couple presentations before we move to the agenda. I want to take a moment to thank Councillor Finsland, Councillor Dahlbeck, and Councillor McDonald for the service they've offered to the people of this city. And if the two of you mind coming up here, I want to present you with a plaque, please. Wearing the shoes of a public servant is not easy. It's uncomfortable, and oftentimes during adverse conditions and with people that don't seem to understand the value of public service. It's a hard role, and it takes a lot of energy and a lot of commitment, a lot of passion for stepping up and doing the right thing. And I want to thank both of you for your exemplary service to the City of Superior and other organizations for which you serve throughout the community. If I may, Councillor Finsland, you've been the City Councilor for the 7th District from 2001 through 2016. In appreciation of your hard work and dedication for 15 years in your district and the communities you served on for the betterment of this community, specifically but not limited to Douglas County Historical Society, Mayor's Commission on Disabilities, Human Resources Committee, License and Fees Committee, Public Works Committee, Citywide Labor Management Committee, and the Finance Committee. You also served as Vice President of the City Council in 2009, President of the City Council in 2010, and President of the City Council in 2014. Bob, we want to thank you for your unselfish service to the City of Superior. Dennis Dahlbeck, City Councilor in the 9th District, September 2000 to 2007 and April 14 to April 6, 2016. Likewise, in appreciation of your hard work and dedication over the years in your district and to the committees you served for the betterment of this community, specifically not limited to Finance Committee, Deer Committee, Human Resources Committee, License and Fees Committee, Public Works Committee, Public Safety Committee, Citywide Labor Management Committee, Finance Committee, Water Quality Advisory Committee, the Police and Fire Commission, Superior Douglas County Convention and Visitors Bureau. You served as Vice President of the City Council in 2001, 2004, and 2015, and President of the City Council in 2002 and 2005. Denny, Councilor, I want to thank you for your hard service.
Item 4 is approval of the minutes of the March 15th regular council meeting.
Second.
For the motion and second to approve, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
5.1 is a public hearing for a resolution introduced by the Planning Department to amend the 2016 Community Development Block Grant Action Plan.
Mr. Cirque.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilors, just wanted to kind of let you know what we are doing here tonight. In November of 15, you approved actually the CDBG budget. It's backwards a little bit. Unfortunately, we get our number our budgeted number in March. So we're always back here in March or April, kind of changing that number. The original number was that you approved in November was $641,527. The new number is $650,637. We looked at some of our needs and on the city side and decided when Mary Morgan put her application forward, she actually asked for a little bit more money in tree replacement. We thought that was a good spot for that. As you know, we're battling the ash borer and want to supplement that in our CDBG district. So we are adding another $9,101 to the census tract tree planting amount. So that is the only change that is being made in the amendment, other than the total amount. So if you have any questions, open that up. I'll have the mayor do the public hearing, and we'll go from there.
I have a number of questions. First of all, since there's this windfall of 9,000 plus, and well, I should speak from there because I'm not speaking as a counselor. I'll wait until the hearing starts, and then I'll speak from there.
What you have before you is 5.1. Resolution introduced by the Planning Department to amend the 2016 Community Development Block Grant Action Plan. At this time, I'll call for a public hearing and ask those that wish to speak for or against to do so now. For the second reading, those that wish to speak for or against may do so now. For the third and final time, those that wish to speak for or against may do so now. Councilor Bender.
Yes, well, I'm not here as Councilor Bender. I'm here as Secretary for CASDA Board, Bender, and I think it's great that we got this basically a windfall of $9,100. And as you know, all nonprofits always need lots more money. And so I was looking at this when I saw, as soon as I read the article in the paper this morning, I looked at this, and CASDA, just like many of these others, are very, very cognizant of how much money they need to do their operating. So I was looking at a number of these and thinking, well, maybe we could siphon a little bit of money off from this. I guess siphon wouldn't be a good word, but use it in a different way. And I would start with CASDA because I'm on that board, but then there were a number of others that I thought of too. CASDA is down from $9,900, which is a lot of money, but they have gotten $10,000 in the past. Just Kids Dental is down for $3,200, and I know what a great program they do. In fact, they were very generous when I was, before I went to Guatemala, they donated cases of toothbrushes, toothpaste, dental floss that we took down there. But if it weren't for, and I see Just Kids Dental when I'm a rolling reader at Northern Lights and also at Bryant, without them, numerous of these students would have no dental visit during a year. And so what I would request for them would be like another $300 to $800. I would like to see that rounded off to $4,000. Also, there was another one on here, Boys and Girls Club of Superior. They're at $7,900. Could we add 100 and make it 8? What was another one that I had seen? Mentor Superior, I think that's the one. Yeah, Mentor Superior, which of course is a very great program that I'm very familiar with too. If that could go up $100. The Transitional Housing by Millie Brownsville's organization, if that could go up $100. I know that there are lots and lots of people who work for the retired senior volunteer program. In fact, they work in the schools and they always call them Granny. So if that could go up $300 to $600. And the same thing if Senior Connections could get like another $100 to make it an even 3. And looking at Superior Housing Authority, if they could even that one up to $3,000. So that's all I'm asking is a consideration of that, and it comes out to about $1,200. But again, I'm not a math teacher, so I've just asked for your consideration.
Is there any further discussion, Counselor?
Yeah, Jason, if we were to do this, wouldn't this have to go back to the CDBG committee because of the amount?
Yes, and they would want to divvy it up equally between everybody to be fair.
Right.
Plus, and the other issue is that we run up against percentages in that public services. We can only go over 13% of the total budget. I would have to do some figuring on that, and essentially, and we'd have to take into consideration Counselor Bender's requirements, but they wouldn't, each one of those would just be divvied up 9,100 divided by 17 different, you know. I was trying to save us from doing that, I guess, and, you know, putting it into a bigger impact type of thing. If whatever the council would like to do, unfortunately, I've got to have an action plan approved because they give us 60 days, and I don't know if I'd have enough time to do that because we'd have to go through this again. So.
I would entertain a motion to approve as is. Second.
Heard a motion and a second to approve as is. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carried.
Item 6 is the consent agenda.
Second.
Heard a motion and second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Item 7.1, Finance Director Vito is requesting approval of the 2015 and 2016 Police Department budget adjustments.
Motion approved.
Heard the motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
7.2, I believe Jason wants to speak before we get there.
Thank you, Terry. Councilors, we do have an action item, but I wanted to introduce David Klana from Western Lake Superior Habitat for Humanity. Relatively new on the job, about 7 months. We've been meeting kind of off and on since he came on board. Has a lot of energy, has a lot of good vision on for Habitat, so I thought it would be a good idea, kind of coupled with the request, to have him come and talk a little bit about Habitat, and we'll go from there. David.
Yes. Thank you, Jason. Yes, and thanks to all of you for welcoming me here this evening and for just the ongoing relationship my affiliate has had with the city. It's preceded my time here. This is an affiliate that has been in a regrouping stage, and Superior has been central to our process and our success. Our mission statement's up there before you. A lot of people think it's about building homes. It is. It's really about building community, and we build this through homes. We take a human and community development approach, and families choose to partner with us. They're the drivers of this. These are families that are working families who, for various reasons, just never get enough assets accumulated. Our program allows them to do that through home ownership, and the benefits just multiply as time goes on. And some of us, you know, we have family backgrounds where we've known what it's like to struggle with housing. Other folks have observed this. So together we can do something about it. It's about cultivating service above self. And I say this as a Rotarian, where we're about service. These families, this provides them an opportunity for service. Nikki, who works at Northwest SEP, she lives in Billings Park with her 2 kids. They had a project last summer where their house was painted. I met with Nikki a couple of weeks ago, and she said, you know what? This has helped me get my kids more out in the community and community service roles. And so they're giving back when we work with these families. Our mission principles are demonstrating divine love. We're a Christian ministry, but we're very ecumenical. We don't proselytize. People from all faith traditions are welcome to be partners. People from no faith traditions are welcome to be partners. We have what's known as a theology of the hammer. Instead of quibbling about doctrinal differences, pick up a hammer, get alongside your neighbor, build some houses, build some community, make this a better world for all of us to live together as neighbors. We have roots in southwest Georgia. Some of you folks know about the Carters as involved. Americus, Georgia, where Habitat originated, is a community near Plains, Georgia, where the Carter family lived. Our affiliate is a large affiliate, serving four counties. Douglas County in Wisconsin is our Wisconsin county. This has resulted from about a decade of mergers. We had these smaller volunteer-driven affiliates in the outlying counties, and when the volunteers were all fired up, things were working well, but volunteers ebb and flow, and so what we've discovered, like in many nonprofits, is you need staff to really make the best use of volunteers by providing continuity and programs and processes. So we've been around since 1988. There are 32 houses still owned by Habitat partner families in these 4 counties. They make a monthly mortgage payment, and that payment is a source of our operating revenue. So when these families partner, not only are they getting themselves into housing, they're providing the seeds for additional families to get into this program. Last year, we completed 23 A Brush with Kindness home exterior renovation programs around the area. Our last 2 house builds were in 2013 and 2014, and I handed out a copy of the reader. It was a partnership between Super One, the City of Superior, other community members, and our Habitat affiliate. We moved a couple of houses from the east end of Superior to a site on Ogden and another site on Weeks, and then we rehabbed them. And our restore operation on Broadway across from Cary Toyota started 3 years ago in this community and has been growing, and we see our restore as a key piece in Superior. In the coming year, we anticipate 15, maybe 20 A Brush with Kindnesses, but we're really looking, the house building part of it is key because that builds our mortgage portfolio, which drives more and more houses being built. So after a few years of not doing this, we're really ramping up to get builds going and to incrementally increase them over the years. So we're looking at 1 build for sure in Superior and possibly 1 in Duluth. And we're also looking in terms of what's known as neighborhood revitalization. There may be some neighborhoods in our communities that are good candidates. It's a more holistic, multi-partner approach. And we're thinking Superior's North End, where we already have a presence, and possibly Lincoln Park for this. So we're on the move as an affiliate. We're emerging from this period of merger and transition to grow our impact. And as a new executive director who's had a lot of nonprofit experience and capacity building experience, on a daily basis, I'm looking at systems, I'm looking at processes, and key organizational needs to get a much more solid organization in place so that our production is just more consistent and with an upward trajectory. We're currently at about 10% of our potential in this area, and I base that on our Habitat affiliate to the north in northern St. Louis County. With a third of the population base, they're building 5 to 8 houses a year. So we know what our needs are for housing in this area, given recent media reports, but we can just drive around and see the needs too. So there are pieces to this, and I have sort of the equation. First of all, we have to have the right families. We got to have the good staff to drive the volunteer, make the best use of our volunteers with high quality experiences. We need land. We need community partners and resources. And with this equation, the outcome is success for all of us because our communities are stronger, our families are more stable. Those kids have good peer relationships. They know their teachers. They're healthier. The families are voting. And so in this transition, we're adding staff. We're this close to getting a construction manager hired. He and I are meeting tomorrow afternoon, the candidate that we prefer. And at this point, it's looking like some details. We have a few other folks still in the mix for this position, but he's our person. We're working to get an AmeriCorps Vista person to work alongside me as a capacity builder. And we're really reaching out much more to volunteers. Since I've come on board, we've gotten a lot more volunteers in the mix. And as a guy who ran a Kids Cafe program in Duluth, the volunteers could run the program. I could go to the Twin Cities and find resources. And that's what we need in our programs, a really robust, well-supported group of volunteers so that the staff can really build the organization and access the resources. We're exploring a partnership with Lake Superior College, potentially getting an annual build going with those folks. And so that might be our Duluth build as we're putting together some funding. The model here is home ownership. The families, in fact, in northern St. Louis County, where I was up a couple evenings ago, Nathan, my colleague up there, he said, the families, when you're doing your sweat equity, that's your down payment. You're making a down payment every time you do sweat equity. And it can be working on other people's homes. It can be working on the family's home. It can be volunteering in the restore. Multiple things that allow the families to get a stake by having sweat equity, skin in the game. These families, even though many of them struggle, they have strengths. They have assets. And this is the type of approach we take, is identify those, nurture them, multiply them, and really get that flywheel of success established. The families make this mortgage payment, and the way we keep the cost down is we maximize the volunteer labor, we access donated materials, reduced cost materials, in-kind donations of labor and services, green building techniques. So these are highly energy efficient homes. Why pay for utilities when you can pay a greater percentage to your mortgage, which is based on your income? And then that payment goes back to the affiliate for another home. The difference between the market value of the home and the actual mortgage, because these families couldn't maybe reach that full value, is we put a silent second mortgage in place. There's not a payment on it, but it stays in effect for the whole life of the first mortgage, and it protects the equity. It prevents flipping these houses or doing inappropriate things with them. Home ownership. Everybody needs a shovel in the ground. And what's really cool is volunteers who have no skill, they develop skills. Our construction manager, when we're hiring this person, what kind of a teacher is this person? How well does he work with people from all walks of life? Or she? I mean, if we had a good qualified woman construction manager, I would have loved hiring a woman in this role. We require 150 hours of sweat equity from each adult member of the family, and they learn skills. We don't build a garage. We set up the lot in a way that the family can build the garage down the road, leveraging the equity they're gaining in their home, and the skills they're gaining in the build process sets them up for down the road, perhaps doing a garage building project. What's really cool is these new homeowners, they become stakeholders in the community. They're taxpayers. Their kids are doing, like I said, better in school. There's more employment stability, lots of different contributions to the community. And as you folks know in Superior, home ownership, well, there's different ways to get there. So here's a copy of the article that I presented to the counselors that was in the Reader's Guide to Giving last December. On the right there is Melissa Burrows and her children. Melissa works at Wells Fargo. She's a great example of a successful Habitat homeowner partner. That's our Brush with Kindness. It focuses on the exteriors. It tends to be single parents, veterans, elders, and there's a new program in Habitat emerging called Aging in Place, where the emphasis is working with the elders in our community to keep them in their houses, because we know that higher levels of care in terms of housing is expensive. So if we can keep people in their homes, that is good for everybody. Our Restore, some of you folks may have been there. We welcome you to come and visit us. Yes, it's a great place to recycle products, and that is part of it, but it's really an engine for generating revenue for our programs, building houses, repairing houses, and so forth. It's also a great entry point for people who are unfamiliar with the Habitat mission in the community. Folks who come in, they want a good price, but we engage in conversations and bring people along to involve them as partners. And by the way, if anyone is getting inspired here, there are sign-ups over there. Feel free to join us to get on our mailing list. We'd love to have you in the mix. We're going to have a newsletter coming out in about a month. So we'd love to have some new recipients of that newsletter. How does all this happen? Well, it takes a lot of partners, and it's people, it's relationships. I mean, I said we need resources, money, but it all starts with relationships and high-quality programs. If we're not doing high-quality programs with good relationships, you can maybe get a big check one time, you won't get that check the second time. So, and this is something that's a bit of a misperception. I mean, the Carters are icons, and we have this really robust international organization. We have one of the most recognized brands in the world, and I've been working this brand really hard in our community. It's worth $2 billion. And when my board is feeling a little frustrated with our account balance, I tell them, what is the prorated value of that brand? About $1.3 million, folks. We can keep leveraging this brand. We don't get a lot of straightforward resources from international. We get a lot of technical support. We've had, about $3,000 of scholarship money in the last 7 months because I've been ramping up the training for our staff. people that I can call down in Atlanta and get advice. Really strong state support organizations in both Wisconsin and Minnesota. So it's really a local grassroots effort that's customized to local needs, but with this international organization, its brand, and its technical support. Ways of getting involved. Well, we'll always welcome people to come and volunteer at our Restore. That's the grand opening on Broadway a couple years ago. Our team there cutting the ribbon with a skill saw, that wooden cellulose ribbon. We have a Habitat 500 bike ride this summer. It's in northeastern Minnesota. It's a statewide event in Minnesota, but we have folks from all over the region riding, raising money. We're going to be building a house up in Aurora. If somebody wants to ride a few hundred miles with me in July, I'd love to talk with you. It's a pledge-raising, fundraising drive. What's really cool here, these kids, this is at the Steve O'Neill Apartments in Duluth, and I used to work at Chum. I worked with these families that were, really severely distressed families. Our program is a wraparound. Catch families before they get to the point of needing to go to Chum, or as they're coming through Chum and other agencies like that, and they're ready to get more stable, engage the families. And these kids, many of these kids, well, they're young, but you know what? A lot of the kids in these families, they don't have a chance to hold a hammer. They don't have a chance to build a birdhouse because they don't have a home where they have a basement where they can go and do stuff with their families. So these kids are getting re-skilled, and part of what the challenges in our society is we have a lot of families that are being de-skilled. Habitat reskills family, and we reskill ourselves together as community members. So ultimately it's about service. This gentleman, he served our country. This is a project in Proctor last summer. And we serve each other by building community, hope, and homes. We welcome anybody to join in this work in our community. If you want to get in touch, here's some contact information. I have business cards with me. Thank you for having me here this evening. Thank you for your past support of our work in the community. And thank you for the work we're going to be doing together in the future.
Thank you very much.
Item 7.2, Planning Director Cirque is recommending procedures be waived for city-owned property located at both 710 Weeks Avenue and 1001 North 7th Street, and that pertinent staff be allowed to execute the transfer by respective deeds immediately before each project is commenced to the Western Lake Superior Habitat for Humanity at no cost.
Heard a motion in multiple seconds. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried.
Thank you. 7.3, Public Library Director Heskin, on behalf of the Library Board, is requesting Council waive the City Code Section 6218 restricting the use of pesticides for a one-time application to the entire turf of the library, including Center City Park.
Motion and second. Discussion. Counselor?
Yeah, I just want to know what exactly was the state of this property that it needed this type of application. I've done some research into the proposed applicant here, the Forever Green Weed and Feed 2603. It does have some concerning properties, most considerably to aquatic invertebrates and fish, so there is a runoff concern with this type of pesticide application. There are also some concerns to exposure, and my other concern would be making sure that children that might be playing in the area are kept out of contact with this. And of course it would be posted, but it would be pretty easy for children to be near the area, and there are some health effects. This is not the most dangerous type of pesticide. It certainly is a hazard to human health if humans come in contact with it without proper equipment. So I'm wondering if it's absolutely necessary to move forward with this.
Well, Councilor Garfield, we're just, our maintenance person has noticed that the area is right on the corner of Belknap and Tower, and we have a lot of weeds in the area for a good half the summer, and that was what the recommendation was, to put weed and feed down, not just at the library, but in the park. We understand the ordinance, we understand the posting requirements, and we're prepared to notify those on the list that are, there's a notification list for folks who would like to be notified. We're prepared to do that. It's mostly for aesthetics.
At this time, that is in my district. There are a lot of kids in the district, and there's a park not so far away on the other side as well, but there are a lot of kids that walk around in that area. I would say that solely on aesthetic reasons, I would not recommend a waiver at this time for this application.
Any further discussion, Councilor Fennessy?
Yeah, I understand some of the concerns with this, but I support this as long as it's a one-time application. And I understand what you're doing. If you don't do it now, it's just going to continually get worse and worse and worse until it gets to a point to where you can't really do anything. So I'm in support of it as long as it is just a one-time application, get caught back up, and then see where it goes from there. And as long as it's done properly and held to all the permit requirements.
Councilor Dahlbeck?
Yeah, I agree with Councilor Fennessy. I think it's a one-time thing. Let's take care of it now before it gets worse, and more has to be done.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Motion carried.
I don't think that doesn't carry.
It did not carry?
There was no.
Please call the roll.
Call a roll call, please. Councilor Fennessy.
Aye.
Councilor Bender. Aye. Councilor Garfield. No. Councilor Finsland. Aye. Councilor Herrick. Aye. Councilor Dennis Dahlbeck. Aye. Councilor Esther Dahlbeck. No. 5 to 2, that motion fails.
Motion failed for want of majority. Thank you.
7.4, Environmental Services Director Roberts is requesting to award the Hill Avenue Viaduct and Faxon Creek Culvert Replacement Project to Stack Brothers Mechanical Contractors for $727,171.15.
A motion and second. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
7.5 is to award construction observation services of the Hill Avenue Viaduct and Faxon Creek Culvert Replacement Project to Donahue and Associates for $46,372.
Heard the motion and second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried.
7.6, award the lift station number 5 force main replacement to Hanco Utilities for $157,621.
Heard the motion and second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried.
7.7, award the bid for the final clarifier effluent piping project to MZ Construction from Linden, Wisconsin for a bid amount of $289,000.
Heard the motion and second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried.
7.8, to award the bid for Environmental Services Division for office reconfiguration to J.R. Jensen Construction Company for bid amount of $210,375.
Heard a motion and second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
7.9, Public Works Director Janigo is requesting to waive the bid requirements for the purchase of one 2016 Falcon 4-ton tandem axle pothole patch trailer unit from Falcon Road Maintenance Equipment via the Minnesota Net State Bid Contract price of $36,678.
For the motion and second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried.
7.10, recommending approval of the professional engineering services agreement with SEH Inc.
For the motion and second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
7.11, recommending approval of Enbridge's easement request as outlined in the memo.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
8.1, Mayor Hagan is reappointing Kaylee Hermanson to the Plan Commission, reappointing David O'Cash to the Mayor's Commission on Disabilities, and appointing Brittany Behrens-Markren to the Parks and Recreation Commission.
For the motion and second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried.
Item 10.1 is a resolution setting a public hearing May 17th to rezone properties located in the vicinity of Banks Avenue and Central from RB1, R1B, one-family residential, to C2 Highway Commercial District.
For the motion and second, all in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried.
10.1 is a resolution setting a public hearing to vacate portions of the east-west alley in the vicinity of Banks Avenue and Central Avenue.
For the motion and second to approve, all in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried.
10.3 is initial resolution of the City of Superior relating to the issuance of general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed $1,525,000 for the 2016 Street Improvement Program.
Heard the motion and second, all in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried.
10.4 is an initial resolution relating to the issuance of general obligation bonds in the amount not to exceed $455,000 for Superior Public Library improvements.
Heard the motion and second, all in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried.
10.5 is an initial resolution relating to the issuance of the general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed $145,000 for park improvements.
You've heard the motion, all in favor? Opposed? Carried.
10.6 is a resolution of the City of Superior, Wisconsin, providing for the issuance and sale of general obligation corporate purpose bonds.
Heard the motion and second, all in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried.
10.7 is a resolution providing for the sale of $2,125,000 general obligation corporate purpose bonds, Series 2016A, and you do have a handout from Finance Director Vito this evening.
Heard a motion and second. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
10.8 is a resolution providing for the sale of $785,000 in general obligation promissory notes, Series 2016B. You also have a handout regarding that this evening.
Heard the motion and second to approve, all in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried.
Item 10.9 is a resolution introduced by Enbridge Energy Limited Partnership authorizing a water pipeline.
Heard the motion and second, all in favor? Opposed? Any further business to come before this body? If not, I'll entertain a motion. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even
Tom?
catch that.
Thank you. I'm not actually here to ask you for anything. I'm here to invite you for a cup of tea. It's with pleasure that next week, Thursday, the Superior Public Library Foundation is going to be kicking off its foundation. We're forming a nonprofit foundation so that we can better and further what we want to do at the library. Many of you know that we're looking at some improvements in the next couple of years, phase one being the children's area. So please join us next Thursday. Very short program. We're going to be from 5 to 6. Program is about 15 minutes long, very, very short. Come and get a cup of tea. Come and take a look at the library, and we look forward to you helping us kick off Chapter 1 of our improvements. Any questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. We stand adjourned. Thank you.